Anyway, here's my spin, because here's a fucking hot take and a half for you. Are you ready? This is spicy. I don't give a fuck. Right? Bearing in mind, if you look at the rosters right now, like at the Blast 4 finals, actually, it's actually pretty rough. Like a lot of the big names right now who are good in CS2 aren't there. Some of the teams that are there, no one knows how good they are. Roster moves coming in. I actually think that I'm so confident this wonderful to Na'Vi move will work that I think within the first 2 LANs, they're going to make a final. Because here's why. Because I actually think, even though you still got plenty of problems with Imma, you're still working on the rest of the squad. The thing is, I think people are actually underestimating. This is one of the most easy plug-and-play moves I've ever seen in World Counter-Strike. Like, this guy already is not just an AWPer who speaks Russian. He's actually like a fucking bona fide star player AWPer too. Like, he actually could walk in today and put up like a 1.2 rating and frag out with the AWP, and then it puts everyone else in there no one plays. Like, basically, he could do what you wanted Simple to do, but he barely played with this lineup. Like, he's obviously not peak Simple, but you don't need to be. Like, when you look at this circuit right now, if he plays, like I say, like a 1.2 rating type AWPer, Bit's already pretty good. JL actually underrated fragging. Yeah, Imma's been semi-shit. Then it's just on Lexi to call a good game. I think with the field right now is so weak. Like I say, there's lineups that aren't going to exist anymore. Some of the lineups at this Blast one, by the way, aren't even good. Like, Nip's not going to fucking do anything. So I think that the first 2 events are going to make a fun. Now, here's the thing. The spicier take would be they'd win. I can't say they'll win. Like, with the lineup they have right now, it's still a mess. Like, I don't know what's going on with him. I have no idea if he'll even be here in 2 months. So I'll just say they'll make a final. There's a spicy take for you. There's no way Kassan believes. Come on.
I know what I would say, but yeah.
Come on.
Go.
Wait, okay, make a final in the first 2 events. That is just the fall finals and the world finals. I don't think there's anything else in between that.
Don't need more than that.
So, okay. Well, fall finals, I don't think they're going to do it. Okay, FaZe is going to win their group for sure. Then Cloud9 have proven to me that they're actually half decent, at least when they played, I can't remember which one's which, between Thunderpick and Rubet anymore, but one of those they looked pretty good at, where they just kind of lost to FaZe in like the semifinals. Then from the other side of the bracket, I would put a couple other teams above them. But like the thing is, I think it's more likely they do it at the fall finals than the world finals. I'll say that. I think the world finals has a slightly stiffer, the opposition's a little bit stiffer there. You have instead you have Maus coming into that tournament, and I don't think you actually have you don't have G2 at the fall finals either. So I think that I don't think they're gonna make that. I think that they could beat Cloud9 and have a nice like semi-final. They might get into the semifinals, like winning a quarterfinals game against like a really weak, I don't know who makes it out of Group B, like Astralis or Heroic or something like that. Like they could do that, but I think that anybody that wins, say Group B, for example, if it's Vitality or Complexity for that matter, I think they're actually going to beat them. I think that I don't see them being a top 2 or top 3 team. Like they'd have to have a very fortunate run to get to the finals, and I don't think it's happening here.
The thing is, like, I gotta say, I'm a little bit disappointed, Duncan, just slightly.
Why?
Because I would think that you would go all the way
and say they'll win,
balls deep, and say like they're gonna win one of the first 2 events in Blast, whatever, right? But you decided to go for a safe option, which is something that you never do, which tells me that
I don't think it's not safe. He just told me it's not gonna happen. It's a hot take, so he just literally told me about 15 reasons it's not gonna happen. So come on, hit me. You're making it sound like you're about to agree that's possible. Is that true?
No. The thing is, no. The thing is, like, if you went all the way, like you usually do, without like looking back, without thinking too safe, and so like they're gonna win,
all right,
I would probably agree. Looking at the Blast like Premier, or all
right, then fuck it. Then let's just upgrade it. Then they win one of the first 2 events. How about that?
Because I can see what you're banking on, right? You're banking on the fact that you're banking on the fact that like they had honeymoon period. Wonderful is like whatever good, and the CS2 is unstable.
And they have shit. Yeah, exactly.
But why not go for the whole thing then? If you're thinking like that's why I cannot support you.
Well, here's the problem. I will agree, Kassan. In theory, right? If I am just going to do a hot take, I can't just say they win. Essentially that's where like the analytical part of my brain took over and was like, whoa. Because obviously the real problem is a quick point is obviously finals are different. Like when people get the final, the pressure and all that shit. So that's the real reason I didn't do that. Whatever. We could, by the way, I don't actually think functionally there's that much different. Like as you say, if they can do a honeymoon run and beat whoever in the semi, why wouldn't they then be able to win? So you're right, actually. You know what? Fuck it. We'll just say they win one of the first 2 events then. Let's do that.
All right. I can agree with that one. I can agree that they're going to win the fall finals, right? Because Heroic
But
doesn't have a lineup
the best
anymore.
part about this, by the way, Bowie, is like, I know,
but I have to agree when they win.
But the problem is, though, there is a kind of genius to that, though, in a way. If you know what I mean, in a way that is genius. He actually would have totally disagreed with me if I'd said just make the final. But because I've made it less likely, he's like, yeah, I'm in. Fuck it, I'm in. Let's go.
You're breaking your character. That's the thing. It's not your brand to go for the finals and not take the whole thing.
It's true.
The thing is, like, they can beat Heroic because Heroic doesn't have a lineup, right? Nobody knows what the fuck is going on there. So there is no chance that they beat them in a best of 3. NIP with the new lineup and Alex and all these things that are happening, we know that NIP is just a mess of whatever. Cloud9, they don't have an Opera. I don't think they can make it. Astralis is about to sign, but the roster lock is on. They're not going to play with the new players from Heroic. So they are not a competitor there. Complexity is the team that kind of overachieved and punched above their weight in Sydney. Sure. I don't think they're going to make it that deep. The only trouble they have is FaZe and Vitality. Vitality, obviously, have their work cut out for them, bringing Messi and, coach coming back and all these things. So they're probably not going to be ready. And the true opponent is FaZe. And they can take FaZe. Like, we can see FaZe that they were on the verge of losing many games in these 15, 16 best of 3s they won, right? They were so close to losing a bunch of them and they still won. Sometimes has to end. If I have to bet on one thing and take the odds on an underdog, I'm going to take Navi because Navi is in a good spot to win that best of 3, right? Because of Wonderful and the whole line. We saw them in Sydney playing without Simple. They look happier. JL played well. Him is like here and there, but Beat played well. And it's like the team has a chance, right, to win this one. So the other one, the World Finals, I don't think so. I think by that time, let's see, when is that? That's the December 13th, the 17th. By that time, all these teams will be finalized. They're going to be having a lot more practice. G2 is obviously the team that's going to be the contender there. And, whoever if they get snappy to stay or not, it's going to be a much more stable teams in that thing. And I don't think they have a chance.
Looks pretty good, actually, mate. I mean, as much as we've memed on it, like the joke is, it's actually going to be the first like fucking good CS2 tournament. If you look at the lineup of teams, it's like all the best teams, basically. Yeah.
And it's too bad it's for the blast. But
yes,
the thing is, like we do have to like say how it is, and that it's going to be the good event. Like considering whoever wins the fall final, we don't have the 8th team there. Yes. But the Heroic situation is a bit of a mess, right? Because they won't have players.
Yes.
They'll have Tessus, Shush, Dupree, and whoever they get, right? So that's all we know, but it should be in theory be a really good event. Mouse is going to be there, FaZe, Vitality with their full lineup and all these things. So I can agree now that you changed and you got some senses into you and you picked the right hot take, then I can agree. Okay. So yeah, fuck you, Maui.
Right.
So ridiculous.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.